Before it's time to spin, you've got to first cue it up.
I'm probably in your area too. Everybody who owns a laptop, they're a DJ. Everybody who owns a DSL camera, they're a photographer.
And what I'll do is put up blurbs so therefore you can see what I'm thinking about and why I chose that song. You can see the reaction of the kids. So you can kind of like get an idea of how to use it and what to expect.
Why do you want to charge for something that you have the knowledge of and these other DJs don't have the knowledge of? Share your knowledge, you know?
Right.
But DJing's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it is a lot of fun too, you know? I'm DJMIKIEMIKE. I cover central, northeastern Pennsylvania, southeastern Pennsylvania, parts of New Jersey, parts of New York State.
And I'm Dwayne Dixon, the Hitman DDub from Cleveland, Ohio. And it's time to cue it up. All right, good evening, everyone. I would like
Hey, everybody. Hey, Dwayne, how you doing, sir? Not hearing you. You're not even lit up green. I'm the only one that's lit up green right now. Hey, Dwayne, how you doing, sir? Not hearing you. Oh, we're having a little technical difficulties. When did I figure that out? I don't know what happened, and we were not even lit up. I'm the only one that's lit up green right now. And he's checking out his microphone. Let's see, is anybody in the chat? You got 2 messages here.
All right, let's see.
There you go. We got you, Dwayne.
You can hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't know what that was all about.
That's that Blue Yeti. That's why I got rid of mine.
No, it was working fine all the way up until this point.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the deal is. It's almost like the same person that was screwing around with Sean's podcast last night must have came over here and wanted to start messing with our mics.
Put the whammy on us or something, you know?
Yep, but you heard the song and all that at the beginning?
Yeah. Yep.
But then you just didn't hear my introduction.
No, didn't hear the introduction at all. That's why I was going like that. And I sent you a little inbox too.
Okay. So let me start all over again. I'd like to welcome everyone to the next episode of the Cue It Up DJ podcast, where
Before it's time to spin.
not that one, where we all come together as DJs. No matter what skill level you're at, we come here to connect, learn, and grow. And from pro tips to real talk, we're here to support and celebrate the DJ community. So with that said, let's cue it up again and start the show. And I had asked you, I know you were busy with an upcoming gig. So how's that coming?
Well, the bride hit me up again to make a couple more changes, and I told her no. There's no possible way. We're done making changes. You know, first and foremost, it's a gig from a fellow DJ. He ended up joining the service, and he needed somebody to cover the gig. I wasn't supposed to do the ceremony or anything. Now I'm doing the ceremony. She was only supposed to have one song for the bridal party to come into, one song for her to come into, and now it is several songs for each person. You know, mom and dad's come into one song, mom and dad from the group come into another song. dad and stepmom are coming into another song. Each person in the bridal party is coming into a different song, and different seconds of each song. Like there are songs that they pick prospectively, but as you and I listen to music, oh man, that's the greatest part of the song that we want to hear. That's what we want to come into, but not thinking, there's the artist singing is in the middle of singing one part of the song, and they're like, well, from that point on, let's hear it to. I always tell them, give us 12 seconds for your introduction. So I had to go in, edit the song. I used Audacity for it because there was no other way to go to get around it. But we got that all done. And when she called again and asked if we could do a couple more changes, I'm like, no, I'm sorry. There's no possible way.
Mm-hmm.
So we got that ready to roll. So when I got to do my part a little later, I'll show you what that's about. The only thing is we can't play the song, so we don't want to get flagged by YouTube.
Right. Because we already have enough issues with our equipment, I should say, and the server issue.
Yes. Yes. I mean, no matter what, we'll always, not we, everybody could have technical difficulties any given day and time. It's the technology will, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it stinks. We've been having storms here, and my TV's been on a glitch all day. So thank God, knock on wood, the internet's gone good.
Okay. Yeah, I've been busy. I got a school dance, the junior prom at the school that I retired from. So I got them next Friday. So I'm supposed to have their playlist. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of songs they put on there. So I'm supposed to get that tomorrow, but I've put together my own playlist. So because you leave it up to the kids, they'll put some stuff up there.
Oh yeah.
And then it'd be like stuff I could see if the songs were songs that they actually danced to, but I'm like, you're going to a dance, we're not going to a listening party, so you got to put songs that's danceable, not something that you chill out and listen to while you do your daily task or whatever.
I love when they get together. It's like from one of their songs that they like, and they form a big ball in the middle of the dance floor, and they're all just bobbing their heads up and down. The one dance I did for a semi-formal for junior and seniors, there's 500 kids in the middle of the floor bobbing up and down. And I told the principal, I said, man, no, we should have bought. He said, what's that, Mike? I said, fluorescent orange hats and fluorescent green hats. They look like a bunch of bobbers out there in the water going up and down, But that's their style of music, it's changed. It's really has changed.
Okay, before we get into what tonight's episode is about, last week we had talked about 3 major topics. The first one was categorizing your music by genre, energy level, or event type. 2, using smart crates and tagging and color coding to streamline the organization process. So when you DJing, sometimes you have a lot going on, and just having that visual cue, like the color of a track, or smart crates, putting it all in one genre so you can focus your attention on those specific songs, can help a lot. And the last one, I tried to demonstrate how you can use the relocating lost songs in Serato, which was an epic failure, but I did figure it out once we got off the stream. So if you want to see me actually show you what I was trying to show live on the show, I put the video up. And the thumbnail reads, "It works, it really does. Episode 5 redo demonstration." But I renamed it to something more searchable. So the searchable name would be "Restore Lost Serato Files with This Working Fix. Cue it up, DJ Podcast, Episode 5 redo." So if you want to check that out and actually see how to relocate your orange files in Serato without having to manually drag each one, that should help you out. And today crates, and then Mikey Mike is gonna demonstrate how he does a wedding crate. And pretty much, crate organization is almost the same. Each event, even though it's different, there's still like something common that each one does. You just have to do one is well. I'll explain it when I do my demonstration. I don't want to jump ahead.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Hey, with Serato, you call them crates, and virtual DJ, we call them virtual folders. They're basically the same thing. There's no just the only thing that's different is the name. Crate and virtual DJ. It's virtual folder. So, it just got to go with the flow. I mean, each company has their GM has their name for a truck. Chevy has their name for their truck, but it's the same truck. They're both made by General Motor Company,
Or just like Ford, because there's a Ford dealership where there's two dealerships. The right side would be for the left side would be for the Ford. So those are cars you can basically say you can afford. But those same cars are Lincolns as well. It's just they put the Lincoln logo on it, and they might add more, make it look more luxurious, but it's basically the same car. So
I don't know if you know this. There was a car that Ford released. Oh my God, and I could see the car, and I shouldn't have brought this topic up. Oh, the Ford Maverick.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever hear of that car?
Yep.
Okay, did you know you only did two size wrenches for that car? 9/16 and a half inch. They were the only two size wrenches or sockets, and that took care of your whole car from the ground to the top. Everything. No other size wrench or socket, just those two right there. And a Phillips head screwdriver. That's it.
Yep. And Kevin said, going back to the Miller Schoolers and their song requests, they are looking for songs that are racy and foul language so they can see if they can get away with you playing it. And that's what I found out when I did the Galilean high school, their high school homecoming, and I played Fiend because I didn't mentally, because I played the clean version. I didn't know about this other version. And it was like they couldn't wait to get to that one part, and they shouted out all the profane stuff that he says on the record.
Yes. Well, knowing what I from DJing the school dances, the principal told me the only thing I can control is what's coming out of my system. Same with you. The only thing you can control is what's coming out of your system. What they are singing, we have no control over that. Neither do the teachers that are the chaperones that night, the principal. Kids are going to speak foul language. I mean, there's nothing they could do about it. They're not speaking it to a teacher or anything like that, so they're not going to get in trouble for it. But now they'll try to push your buttons. I had students try to bribe me. Hey, I'll give you $50 to play this song. No, I'm sorry, I can't. School rules, can't do it. But Kev, I know what you mean there, buddy. They try to push your buttons any which way but loose, and you gotta stick to your guns. Say I can only play the radio edit version, not just the clean version. Sometimes the radio edit version still has a couple foul words in there, so you have to really go back and look at it, depending on what school district you're playing at too.
Right, because some schools are kind of lenient. So as long as it's played on the radio and it's clean, then everything is, you can play those songs. But other schools, it's like you got to worry about not only the clean edit, but it can't put any kind of innuendos in there, or it can't like go as you know how they do that little or buzz. Yeah. They don't say the word, but they put part of it. It's like you can't even do that.
Yeah, it's like they know what they're gonna say, but they just like drag it out or whatever they do to it. I don't know. In Serato, can you clean the songs up right in Serato?
You got like a sensor button that you can hit, and it just basically puts the whatever the word is in reverse, and then it jumps back to, I guess it's like being in slip mode, where it was, if you let the record play, let's say if you hit the sensor button at the 150 mark,
Hmm.
but if you was to let the record play from 150 to, let's say, the 2 minute mark, if you hit the button at 150 and let it go, it'll pick it up where it would have been if you had let it play.
Okay.
If that makes sense. 'Cause-
Yeah, that makes sense. I know now in a virtual DJ, you could go in and you could edit the song to have like say there's a foul word at the one section of the song, say at 122 in the song. You could have go into the tag at not the tag there, the cleanup, this track cleanup, and you could have it do a reverse of that area.
Mhm.
You just highlight that area and it'll actually reverse the vocals, or you can mute the vocals.
Hmm.
So the vocals are muted, but all the instruments and everything in the background are still playing. So that's a real nice plus with virtual DJ. You don't have
So,
to worry about bringing up an Audacity and cutting, chopping stuff up and knocking it off the beat then.
all right, so in virtual DJ, when you do that, let's say you pick the mute option, will it
Mhm.
save it to that song? So every time you bring that song up and play it, it automatically mute it at that same spot?
Yes, it will save it. It won't save it as an MP3, but it saves it as a part of the original song. But it'll say it actually renames it for you, cleaned. So it's great. So you know, and then all I do is go in tag editor, make it green, and make the other one red, and it's right there. They're right next to each other, so which is a good thing.
So it makes another file, a duplicate file.
Yes, it doesn't make a duplicate MP3. It's actually a different. I never even really checked the extension on it, but it actually takes that song and the clean version is saved there, but it's not an MP3. You can take it off your hard drive and put it on another,
Hmm.
bring it up in Serato because it's just going to pick up the regular MP3 then.
So it sounds like it's almost similar to the way Serato does when you can record. There's a folder for stems where if you have a slow computer, you can drag the songs ahead of time and put it in the stems folder, and it'll do the stems before the before your gig. But the thing
Yes.
is, it's not, the stems are not like a file that you can find on your hard drive. It's somewhere in the database that Serato knows
Yes.
where it's at.
Yes. Yes. And in fact, when I do my demonstration, I'll try to get that in there if we have enough time to show you
Okay.
exactly what it's about.
Yeah, but I spent time either recording flips. So in Serato, you can record beat jumps. So songs that's pretty much will have like a not so school appropriate section, but the rest of the song is okay. You can record a Serato flip, so therefore you don't have to record another file of it. And I
Okay.
just record the beat jumps so I can skip over that section and rearrange the song and make a new like remix. So I've been
Yes.
doing that, and then I just been plainly dragging songs over to, I use Serato's sample.
Okay.
It's almost like it's similar to what DJ Studio can do, but it's more so like a beat maker kind of program.
Yeah.
So I drag those over because I can easily split them up into stems, and
Yeah.
then cut them up and chop them up, and then put the parts together. So I did a whole bunch of those. So therefore, I don't have to worry about hitting a flip or hitting a certain button to echo, to take out the
The curse
school,
word.
yeah, the inappropriate school parts of the
Yes.
song. So therefore, I have a clean version. I know that I call it OHP edits or safe songs. So I know
Yes.
those songs I can put on there. I don't have to worry about anything happening if I get distracted.
That's what I like about promo only. You could download it. I mean, they'll say clean, and I
Mm.
mean it is clean. You don't have to worry about any sexual innuendos, violence, anything. It's boom, it is clean. It's beyond radio edit, so which is a good thing.
So do they is it is it are the songs labeled differently so you'll
Yes.
know?
They'll have like say chose a quick edit, right?
Mm.
They'll have quick edit 30, quick edit clean. So you can get the quick edit 30, and you can get the quick edit clean. So you get all three files if you want.
Okay, but
So
I'm
which is
saying, is there a difference between, because I know there a lot of them will have clean, but it's still, it's not just the language, it's the subject matter. So do they go as far and make it a super squeaky clean version
yes,
specifically for a school
yes,
environment?
yes, yes, yes,
Hmm.
they do. I could vouch for that because I when I'm going to do a school dance, basically I'm using promo only. That is it, and other times, the teachers will supply me with music. These are what the kids want to hear. Okay. And then I'm like, oh, no, no, no. Like Travis Scott, great artist, but 90% foul language, violence, this, that, in it. He's like Eminem.
Hmm.
There's no way you could play an Eminem song at a school dance. I mean, there are you could maybe got to get away with one or two, but the 90% of his music is it's a no-no. So you go into promo only, there it is, and it says clean. Then I think the one will say squeaky clean or super clean, something like that.
Hmm.
I think I got one or two files that said super clean, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. I
So
know.
it's interesting.
Yeah, I know when I was back in the early 2000s when I was just starting to DJ. I know Kanye West used to get me all the time because he have a great song and he'll go 2/3 of the song and then all of a sudden he just go left field. I'm like, dude, you just messed up the whole song. So then I realized I have to actually listen to these songs all the way through, not most of it. I had to
Yes.
listen to it all the way through and make sure they don't go off on the deep end.
Yeah. The one artist I think is very, very talented. Her music is very good. Is Nicki Minaj. She always has a good beat.
Mm.
You could dance to her music. It's like, why are you throwing all these F bombs and sexual innuendos into this good song? You take them out, you're gonna still sell millions of records. But with that foul language in there, the kids want to hear it more, so they're purchasing more. They're downloading the MP3s. I don't know if they still buy CDs. I know vinyl's on the research, so they might be buying her albums even. I don't
Mm.
know if she released any vinyl to her collection yet or not.
Yeah, but I fought the record companies because
Yeah.
that's what they push. Because if you think about it, back when we were growing up, like in the '80s and stuff, they didn't push that kind of material. So therefore, the artist wasn't incentivized to do those kind of songs,
Yes.
or
I mean,
they'll be more creative. They wouldn't just flat out say it. They'll be creative the way they say it.
yes. I mean, if you look back, um, Ozzy Osbourne,
Mm.
he supposedly bit the head off a bat. Some say he did, some say he didn't, some say it was a pigeon. But all of a sudden, every Ozzy Osbourne album or 45 had that parental discretion label on it. If you listen to Kiss, you're a satanic worshiper, Black Sabbath, oh, you're into Satan. And it's like you listen to those lyrics today, and it's like reading the Bible compared to some of the music that's out there today. I mean,
Hmm.
Kiss isn't satanic, Black Sabbath isn't satanic. It's just people just went too deep into they ended up dissecting the sign. And if you dissect, I don't care what sign it is, you could find something wrong with any sign that's out there.
Yep. So let's jump into our show so we don't have to do another marathon show.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so let me see. And make sure if you see me looking to my right and it looks like I'm trying to show something or talk about something that's on my screen and you don't see it, please to let me know that you don't see what I'm showing, so I don't do my whole thing like last week, thinking I was showing you all it. Therefore, I have to redo a video showing you what I was talking about.
I will let you know.
Okay. So you should see me and DJ Mikey Mike in the corner, and then you should see my computer screen with Bob the Builder. Do you see that? It should be up there now. Oh, you might not. You gotta look at YouTube if you.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Oh yeah, I see Bob the Builder now.
Okay. All right, cool. So basically, what I was saying earlier, there's basically when we get as DJs, we get three types of DJ events. It's usually a wedding, a school dance, or a private event. Weddings are usually formal, structured, and it has emotional moments. Whereas school dances tend to be more trend driven, high energy, and clean edits. So with school dances, you have to know more of the current, like right now hits, because you can, just like this week, I spent time trying to find songs for my middle schoolers that I'll be DJing for next week. What's hot this week may not be hot, or it might be played out next week. So it's almost like you gotta kind of like, I wouldn't say stay on top of it, because there's no way you can stay on top of that, because they take in trends, different ones, and it changes overnight. So it's hard to keep up with them.
Yeah, it could change daily. Honestly, it's amazing how everything just boom is in hyperspeed.
Right. Whereas weddings, you can get away with more playing familiar songs and throwback songs.
Mm-hmm.
And then private parties is more flexible, and it's a casual vibe, and you have to be adaptable. Because I tried doing timelines for private events, be it a birthday party or whatever. Because me, mentally, I need to understand, let's say you give me a party for 4 hours or 5 hours. To me, I need to understand your goal or the assignment. Am I just playing background music, or are you doing different activities? Because I hate when I come in with a mindset and I'm DJing, because I'm DJing with, with a flow or a mindset. I'm going here, there. But then when I'm constantly have to stop and then restart and stop, mentally that can be draining, trying to get focused and coming back and forth. Or if you have different activities, let me know ahead of time, because therefore, if there's a song that can lead into that, I would like to know ahead of time so I can kind of like lead into whatever activity that you're going to do.
Yes, exactly. It's there are certain songs out there, like it could be, for an instance, Eddie Money, 2 tickets per paradise.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing a fundraiser and they're going around with 50-50 tickets, and you put, hey, 2 tickets to paradise on.
Mm-hmm.
It just gets them think. It's all like the guest thing.
All right. So which one of the three do you like?
I'm looking at my screen. I like.
Do
the
you
wedding.
like to do weddings, school dances, or private parties?
Definitely weddings.
Mm-hmm.
Weddings, and I like private parties too. Private parties, they're like a graduation party, but depending. Private party, you can mean a birthday party, which is usually can be very explosive. Especially if it's an adult party. Just did a sweet 16, and the young girl did not want to dance because she wasn't allowed to listen to her music.
Mm-hmm.
So a wedding is basically, you can already map it out As soon as you get there, you get all set up, and you see the guests arriving, you see their ages. Right then, it gives you, okay, I'm going here. And then you see those guests leaving because most guests, you know, 60, well, I can't say 60 because I'm going to be 60, 70, 80
Mm.
years of age, they're leaving early. So then the younger crowd's there. So you try to please that older crowd while they're there. Then the younger crowd's there for the rest of the night. You please them for the rest of the night. But again, sometimes the younger crowd will request older music. It's just, you have to be able to adapt to the situation. You can't just go in there with a mindset, hey, the older crowd's leaving it at this time. I'm just going to throw bangers on EDM. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. No, yeah, it may not work because some of the younger crowd may like something from the 60s or the 70s. They might like some disco. It's just, you have to read the room. You have to be able to adjust on the fly, as you could say, because if not, the dance floor is going to clear. That's going to be it. You're going to be like, oh boy, what did I do wrong?
I
School
say,
dancing.
I like, it's a toss up between weddings and private events. I like the private events. It's up there because it's less planning. A wedding is, you have to do a lot of planning. It's very stressful. So between those two, private parties, I like doing them because of the stress that's on me as far as everything have to be done right on time, and especially with weddings where I have to be the wedding coordinator and all that and making sure everybody's where they're supposed to be and hunting people down. So I would say I like private events more than weddings, but weddings pay more. So that's why they're almost neck and neck. So it's almost like you get the extra money because you're doing all the extra work. But as far as DJing and just not having to have that burden on top of you, I would say private parties would be my choice. School dances can be okay, but at the same time, it depends on the kids.
Yeah.
I don't mind doing young kids school dances because they'll dance to anything. It's that middle school. The middle school ones are so picky. It's like
Yeah.
one minute they want to be babies and the next minute they want to be adults. So it's like,
So very true. Especially if they have older brothers and sisters,
mm,
they want to hear their own music, but then all of a sudden, well, hey, my older brother or sister's listening to so and so and so and so. So I'm gonna hit the DJ up, see if he'll play that for us.
mm-hmm,
And if I have the clean version, yes. If I don't, I'm sorry, it's not going on.
yeah,
No, so they're stuck they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. They want to spread their wings and show off a little bit, but then again, they still want to be a child because they're in sixth grade or seventh grade. Once they get to eighth grade, if you notice, eighth grade, ninth grade, 10th grade seniors, especially the juniors and seniors, they don't push your buttons too much because they know you can't play it at that event.
mm-hmm,
They know it's a school event.
yep. And it's cool with eighth graders to see them at the beginning of the year and then see them mature by the time they get to May, because you see that change because they very childish at the beginning of the year, but then I would say around January and February they start to mature, and then April, I say March, April is when they start to realize that they're getting ready to graduate. So it's like they either become super mature to go to high school or they resort to that, oh, I'm going to leave the confinements of something I'm used to go. Now they're instead of being at the top of the totem pole, now they're at the bottom. So they got that issue going on.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the truth. They're walking around as the seniors of middle school, and then all of a sudden they're being stepped on by the seniors of the high school.
Yep. So if you're in the chat, if you hear it live in the chat, put down which one of these three types of DJ events do you like to DJ? Do you like to DJ weddings, school dances, or private parties. And then also maybe put down why you like to DJ that particular event. But getting back to our demonstration, the approach for each one varies. For weddings, you play by a timeline. And then for school events, you respond to trends and attention spans, which is very, 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 very short. And for private events, it's more of a looser structure with high adaptability. And I can't stress that enough.
Yes.
So why do we put crates, have like crate structures for each one of these types of events? It's just like what I said last week. It's when you open up, I used to, when I DJ, would have just one folder with all my music. And what happens is usually after the first couple of songs, or if I take the time and make a set list, I was DJing one song to the next song to the next song in order. But what happens if that crowd doesn't enjoy the songs that you're playing? So now you're lost at what to pick. So for me, having crates and putting everything in smaller chunks is easier to navigate and come up with ideas.
Yes. Oh God, yeah. It's how I can explain it. You know, people ask me, well, why do you create the folders? Well, now you have your GPS. So you just punch in your location, it tells you turn left, turn right. Going back in the day, you had a map. So you had to look at a map and you had to structure everything, which route you want to travel. Same thing with virtual DJ, same thing with Serato. You're creating your crates, I'm creating my virtual DJ folders. It's a map to get us to the end of the night, from the start to the finish.
Yep, and I'm glad you put it that way because that's leading up to the next few slides. So a crate system is usually basically you have three there's three things that happen within the event. You usually have to worry about what you're going to play when the doors first open up as your warm-up crate. And then what you're going to play during the peak time when everyone arrives. And then what are you going to play at the end when you come into a close, winding down. So those are the three main timeline spots within an event that you should kind of like think about when you're putting together your smaller sets or crates. For me, I try to think of it as a movie. So I try to create an experience when I DJ. So I look at, these are my timelines. When the doors first open, and then my main crate, then I have a banger crate. That's the crate, that's almost like the get out of jail crate. So if the dance floor is not popping or you don't know what to play next, these are songs that as soon as you drop it, the floor, you should get a reaction. Even if you don't get people on the floor, there should be a reaction. Line dances, again, with school dances, you got a lot of awkward students. So they may not want to come on the dance floor, especially if they're the first one. They like to travel in packs. So having line dances or knowing the TikTok dances would get them to do the dances and then get them on the floors in a group so they don't feel like they out there by themselves.
Yeah, so true.
And then I like to throw in slow songs because you never know who's coupled up. Also with slow songs, there's a lot of slow songs that are singable songs, sing-alongs. I like to use sing-alongs for like a group participation kind of activity. They can do it on the dance floor. They can do it at their seats. And then the last one, well, actually, there's another one that's not up there. I have a sturdy crate. That's for my boys. Because we always playing, they're always saying, play to the girls, play to the girls. But then the boys be like, we don't want to listen to that, the lovey-dovey or the girly kind of stuff. So I try to make sure I have a crate just for the boys so they can go up there and do their little crunk dances and all that. And then for the girls, I call that my Wretched Cheeto, was it Wretched Cheeto? You'll see it in a sec. I call it the Wretched Cheeto Girls.
Yeah, cool. Cool. You gotta, basically, we have to cater to everybody that's there at that event.
Mm-hmm.
There's a DJ are just going to be in a tunnel vision or just cater to one section of people. They're not going to have you back to do the dance next year. It's you have to cover all bases.
Yep. But then also for each one of those sections, again, this is a chart that I introduced, I think, episode 3. So this is what I'm thinking when I pick songs to go into each one of those crates. Like for my opening set, I usually try to play familiar, popular songs, but I don't. It's more so songs that get your head to bob, not necessarily go full blown out dancing. It's just so you can bob and listen to, because a lot of times when people show up to a party or event, they come and more so greet each other and socialize a little bit before they actually dance. So I try to make sure I pick songs that would be a good backing track for them to socialize. And then for a wedding, you will have cocktail hour. Again, that's for social, for getting together and socializing. But for me, I mix during cocktail hour. What about you?
I mix during cocktail hour also. I that to me is you want to set the mood. It's not really it's danceable music, but more of a softer tone dancing. It's not the bangers going out there and everybody's slamming the dance floor. And you might get a couple out there doing a nice little dance and stuff. It might be a fast dance, but they might be just loving the song and just doing a nice slow dance towards it. It's just, you want to introduce the people to the music, get them in the mood to see what's going to happen later on in the evening.
And then cocktail hour is also the time I try out different songs to see which. I try to play a variety of songs to try to get a feel of what kind of crowd I might have. And then also when I do, because next week I'm not going to put up I usually carry a sign like a request for my Request Now app where they can make song requests. I'm not going to do that for the school dancers because I'm not inviting them to put down any kind of songs that they know I can't play.
Yeah, you'll be getting swamped with music, request music. But you'll be like, oh my God, I can't take this,
Yep. But during that time, that's when I usually get a lot of song requests. So therefore I can know how to approach my open dance set later on.
Yes.
And then again, you have your dinner music, and also that's again background music. And then your open dance set, as you can see, the numbers go up because you want the energy level to go up, and you want the danceability levels to go up. Because I know a lot of software now, DJ software, they incorporate this into your, like when you're preparing your sets, like Mix and Key, put the energy level, danceability level, and all that as a tag in your songs, and you'll see all these numbers when you look at my crate, the songs in my crate in a minute. And also I use Lexicon. I want to make sure I say Lexicon. Make sure that's Lexicon. I use that to prepare my songs to put in Serato, and they put all this information there too. Oops. Let me see. Let me go back. All right, so let's go on to the demo part. So I'm gonna start first with my school crate. So let me exit out of this one. Now, exit this. So I'm gonna talk my way through, make sure that I'm showing my screen tonight. So I got my Serato up. That's there. And then let me go back to my demonstration screen. Okay. Everything looks normal. Okay. All right, so here's my crate. This is a working crate. It's not anything finalized. I just try to grab a bunch of songs that I thought would work nice for their dance next week. And I picked a lot of songs that I've played at the dance in the past. So again, here's how I have my crates organized. I have an opening crate that I'll play for the first 30 minutes, 45 minutes of the dance to give everyone a chance to come in. And I try to play songs, not necessarily, they're danceable songs because I don't want to scare them. So, but these are older songs that they might remember back when they're like was in the 3rd grade, or I should say lower elementary school, or even in elementary school. Something that they remember to like draw their memory back. And being that I was a music teacher at that school, a lot of these songs are songs that they, when they were little, had sung or danced to at the talent shows. So I'm hoping that they'll bring back memories, especially since this will be the first time they would have seen me in the whole school year, because I was there at the beginning of the school year, and I officially retired that last Friday in August. So they never been in contact with me. So to be able to bring back memories, and then hopefully we can have our special moment together.
Very nostalgic.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and also I tried like mashups or songs that I think are good dance songs that might not work on the dance floor. So that's why I try to put for my opening songs. Let me see, like Ice Spice in the Hood, and there's a couple others. It might not be that many here, but like those where you see OHP safe, that meant that I actually took the clean version of that song, dragged it into whatever software I'm going to use, and I actually went through and created cut points and reworked the song. So it only plays the school appropriate sections of the song, and I bleeped out any kind of questionable words.
Yes.
And then I go into my main crate. Those are basically your dance floor fillers, the ones that you'll hope they'll be dancing, that keep the vibe going. And that's where you see a lot of like super bass. I have extra clean. I have you should see some more like O.H. Perry kind of songs. OHP clean. I don't see any here. So these must be the clean version as is. I can play these as is, but still again, I don't quick mix, but I pretty much give them a verse, chorus, maybe a second verse, and I'm on the chorus, I'm mixing out to the next one.
Yes.
So these ones I might play a little bit longer. And again, the bangers are the popular songs. So you have like Not Like Us, My Friends, Espresso with these mixes. I really like the Espresso and Starships mashup. So I had to go back and redo these, only because again I ripped it from YouTube. So YouTube, I'm thinking YouTube. This is at 320. YouTube was at 196. It was like, it sounded good on my computer, but I know once I play it on my big speaker, it's gonna sound crappy. So to give it that presence, I took it over into my software, the Serato sampler, and did the stem outs. But then I just took the original Starship song and did the same thing, dragged it over, did the stem out, and just used the music to that. So I had to figure out what parts of the Nicki Minaj song that they used and match it back up to create a 320 sounding file of that one.
Yes.
And then here's my sturdy for the guys. And here you'll see a whole bunch of O.H. Perry safe songs that I redid. So therefore I can just drop it and don't have to worry about doing anything extra, making sure Serato flip is engaged for that song. Mm-hmm. Because there's a couple of times I forgot that to engage the flip feature, and it played the songs. So there should be no surprises. And I try to think, I try to pick songs that were more so, since a lot of the boys there play like basketball or football. Try to do more of the jock jam kind of songs. So you'll see a lot of songs up here that's kind of like inappropriate if you play it as is, but if you hit the key parts and then mix out quickly, those songs, I'll do a quick mix, just so they can do that little rah 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 and do whatever celebration dance that they normally do. Girls is similar. I call it the Ratchet Hot Cheeto Crate Girls. So this is your Sexy Reds, Glorilla, those kind of songs. And I definitely did make sure I did a OH Perry safe edit for those. Mm-hmm. So those should go up pretty good because they just want to shout and do their finger pointing and do their little TikTok dances.
Yeah.
And then I do have a TikTok Pacific crate. And for the TikTok songs, I actually went back and looked up the TikTok dance on YouTube, so I could see what part of the song do they do the dance to. So therefore, I'm not wasting. If the song is 3 minutes, I'm not wasting 2 minutes and 50 seconds to get to the part that they dance to. I just did the introduction so I could mix in and jump right into that point so they can go and do their little dance for their TikTok and then mix on out. So these are quick mixes pretty much without me having to quick mix myself. It's already made to do that.
Cool.
Yep. Cool. And then of course I have the line dances to get the or the dance specifics like Salento, Watch Me, Juju on the Beat, Hit the Quan, those kind of things to get them to invite them up on the dance floor.
How about a Little Man Anthem?
Which one is that?
This is a song that I picked up years ago. Mm-hmm. It's the Jersey remix, Little Man Anthem.
I heard of him. Let me see, because I know I have songs of Little Man. Let me see. Little.
Around here, the kids love that song.
Oh, Team Little Man Anthem?
Yes. The kids absolutely go crazy over around here. And that's going back from my daughter was in junior high, middle school, mm-hmm. and she's out of school 7 years, and they still go crazy over it, you know?
Let me play a snippet, because I have a YouTube. Let me play it so I can try to remember. I don't think if I play a second, it won't. Rock, slide, twist, 1, 2, 3. That one?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that song is at least, 7 years my daughter's out of school, and then when she was in 6th grade, so that's 13 years ago, I started playing that song, and the kids still love it today. Now, I have one quick question for you. Uh-huh. The school you're going to, the school I DJ at a lot, Solomon Junior High, they mm-hmm. have skylights in their cafeteria, right? So springtime doesn't get dark to 9 o'clock. The dance usually goes from 6 o'clock to 8:30. And they want all the lights and everything because kids love lights. Mm-hmm. But with the skylights, the gym or the cafeteria stays bright, even though they have the lights shut off. And I found not only with kids, but also with adults, they don't like to dance when there's lights on. Like, that's daylight, like bright out, like us sitting here that we could see brightness. Once it gets dark, you kill the lights, and we just have our DJ lights on. Man, it's like boom, build a dance floor. Is your school that way too, or no?
No, we have like stage lights, so they can change colors to LED lights. But the thing is, our gym has a huge wall, and they have I know they have at least 2 bigger windows. But the thing is, they didn't put blinders. They didn't put like a they didn't put like a shade on it. And if they did, I don't think there's a shade. And if they did, the shade is not one of those ones where you can go to the wall like we have one of those big projector screens that go up and down that you got the switch.
Yeah.
They don't. That's why I'm thinking we don't have a shade over the windows, because if they did, you can like lower it and raise it. But so therefore, their dance is from, I think they said 5 to 7. I gotta look again, but it'd still be daylight. So we have that issue coming in.
Yeah, same here with me. It's hard to get. It's bright, and I don't know what. I thought it was just kids, but it's even adults. If they're not, if the adults aren't intoxicated, and it's daylight out, you're doing a graduation party, whatever, they'll sit there and they'll dance in their seat, but they don't want to get up and dance because everybody could see them. I just don't get it. When I was able to dance, I was out there all the time, you know?
Mm-hmm. And then my last two crates, of course, I have the sing-alongs. And these are just basically just to get them to participate.
Mm-hmm.
And again, these are also a lot of songs that they sung in my talent shows, school talent shows. So, and then the slow, chill songs. These are the ones because they're supposed to have a dinner, some kind of dinner or something going on. So if I see that not too many people are dancing, then I'll throw these on until I see that they're pretty much finished and ready to go.
Yes.
And then I always have the end of the night crate. And I'm hoping to slide in Chris Brown, Don't Wake Me Up, because it has a nice little introduction. Therefore, I can like say my final goodbyes to them and wish them well in high school. So I got to write it out and practice and time it. It's almost like doing a wedding, the introductions. So I can time it so it can fit that. I think it's I think it's a guitar or a violin pluck. It's one of those like classical kind of introductions, so I can hit it, and so as soon as I finish, it hits that EDM mark, and if I do it just right, it should go off with a bang.
Yeah, you want everything to flow the right way.
Yep. And so that's how I do my crates for a school dance.
That's great. I mean, you're really detailed with your crates and stuff like that. I mean, and that's how we have to be, because if we don't, we're second guessing ourselves then. Mm-hmm. So once you start second guessing yourself, you're stuck. You start losing the attention of the guest, and then you start double thinking, and it's like next thing you know, you're throwing anything on, trying to get the attention of the guest. I'll give you an example. I did a wedding probably about 15 years ago, and I didn't know the photographer was actually the groom's aunt. Mm-hmm. And she did a wedding the year before for the groom's brother, who married the bride's sister. And she goes, Mike, these 275 people, they were at last year's wedding. And about an hour into the reception, the DJ wanted to pack up and go home. Because she said he tried everything. Oh, Jesus. You're telling me this right before the introduction. It's like, what am I going to do? I'm like, all right. This side of me, there was 8 tables of people in their middle to late 70s. Then you got 60s, 50s, and the youngest people were the furthest away from me. I'm like, I like the younger people towards the dance floor. They're the ones who are going to go out there first. So I said, all right, after everybody's done eating, I'm going to start off with a nice slow song from the 50s. And then I'll throw on, like, say, well, Ed Sheeran was around at that time, so just Journey Faithfully. I had nobody on the dance floor. I'm like, oh, boy. So I threw the Cupid Shuffle on. Yeah, I had 3 girls come out, 4. Threw another, say, the Macarena on. 2 more girls came out. 1 or 2 went to sit back down. I'm like, oh, my God. This is really, what? Now I'm thinking, that DJ wasn't lying. He really had a hard time. And going through the music, I'm like, all right, let me throw Motley Crue on, Smoking in the Boys' Room. Boom. I got them. And there was like 25 people that came out to the dance floor. I'm like, oh, okay. They're 80s hairband rockers.
Mm-hmm.
And a photographer came running over and she's like, what did you do? I'm like, I tried this genre, this genre, this genre, this genre. Nothing more. The older people didn't want to dance. People in their 60s, they still knew Motley Crue. They knew Bon Jovi and stuff like that. And the younger people knew it too. So next thing you know, the dance floor is packed. I came back with the Cupid Shuffle. By this time, they were drinking and everything. So they're out there dancing. They were having a great time. And the bride and groom came up to me and said, man, my brother should have had you for his wedding. And even he came up, he said, I should have had you for my wedding. Nobody danced at our wedding. Everybody's dancing here at my brother's wedding. So, I mean, as a DJ, you have to be prepared for anything. And if you're not prepared, you will fail. So definitely be prepared. If you think these are going to be the bangers and people are going to dance to it, 9 times out of 10 they will, but there's that one time that they won't. So just be prepared. If there might be an 80s hair band or there might be a 90s, I don't know, whatever they were playing there in the 90s, say some EDM, whatever. You have to have everything from the 50s up to the present day, But make sure it's radio edit or clean versions of it. So do you want to see what I do for my weddings?
Oh yeah. Let me show one more thing I forgot. Because I mentioned something about that chart, the numbers with the chart. This is what I was referring to, and Mix and Key. I think Mix and Key puts their information in the comment section, where it tells you, it gives you the energy of the song, and then and then Lexicon. I have mine go to my grouping column since I don't use it, and they'll tell you the danceability of the song. The
my screen. Oh, there you go. Okay. I got it.
Okay, I was getting ready to get nervous again. The popularity of the song, it gives it a score between 1 and 10, and the happiness of the songs. So, beautiful. Again, I listen to the song still, and I give a star rating. 1s usually means something I'll play at a warm-up, or it's usually a slow song, so I'll play at the beginning of a mini set. 3s are my dance floor fillers, and then 5 are the bangers, the most populars. So that's how I'll use that information to fill that in. And then the color coordinate also goes with the energy level. Green meaning dance floor, the dance level is consistent. Yellow is usually laid back, mellow. Purple means those are bangers. Those are the speakers are going to knock. Yeah. So visually, I need to have those color coded things there, because a lot of times mentally it's hard for me. If a song is going, I might hear a song that would mix well with it, but if I could also see it, then it helps me out a whole lot better too.
Again, it's the preparation. People don't realize what we go through to prepare for every event. And as you go along, the preparation keeps taking place. It does become easier, but there's new songs coming out, so you still got to prepare them too. It's not like, oh, I'm done. I don't have to prepare ever again. No, you got to keep preparing. But the songs that you did prepare already, you don't have to worry about going back to them. So, which is a good thing.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking about doing all those edits. I'm like, man, this takes a lot of time. But at the same time, now that I have it, it's digitally, so I don't have to redo it again. I know no matter what school calls me, I know I can go back. I got a whole bunch of songs ready to go. I don't have to worry about it.
Hey, a quick question for you. Did you back up those files?
Not yet. I always
better do that.
Because I had just got it. I always do a backup, no matter. Put it against my chest so you can see it.
Yep.
I always back up my Serato database and my songs.
Yes.
So yeah, I always got a backup of it.
Yeah, you have to. no matter what, as soon as I do something, I back it up. Relate to one other DJ. He was talking about doing this, cut up music and radio editing music in Audacity, but when it came to the end, he didn't save that Audacity file. And I always save that in case I have to go back in and correct it. This way, I still have that original Audacity file that I had to manipulate. Now, I could, not, I don't have to second guess that I cut it here, that I cut it there. I know exactly where I cut it at.
Yeah, I did
So
that with a
that's,
few of my songs when I was editing them. But then after a while, it's like, if it's a straight edit, it's like I don't need to save that file. But for some of the ones like that Nicki Minaj and the Espresso mashup, I
yeah,
saved that as an actual, what do you call it? The software file, where you have save
save,
as. I did
yes.
do that. So if I have to go back and fix it, I still have those
Yeah,
different parts as
it's
opposed
their
to,
project file.
right, as opposed to just exporting it as an MP3 file, which is great and dandy. But if I notice when I'm listening to it, there's something messed up with it, I can't go back if I didn't save it as that software program,
Yeah, yep.
file
You
format.
got to start all over from
Hmm.
square one, and that's not fun.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this intro was. It was a nightmare because it wasn't bad when they just rearranged songs and it was still the same time frame. I was able to do that. That was no problem. But when they took a different song or took that same song and wanted a different time out of it,
Mm.
oh man, so thank God I did save that project file. It did save me some time, but then when they changed the song completely, now I had to take that out, put a whole new one in, edit that one. It was a nightmare. Total nightmare. What
All
do
right.
you got to do? That's it. You want to see what I do
Yep.
with
As soon
the
as I see it
weddings.
on my screen, I'll send it over to the main.
Okay. All right, I'm going to minimize this down here. And right there's my virtual DJ, but I'm going to minimize this down for 1 second. And here I go. I have my promo only. This is just for demonstration purposes for wedding crates. And I'm going to take this and drop in tag editor. And boom, there's all the tags on it already. This is right from promo only. I don't have to worry about, if there's 112 is various. I think that's the wedding intro. Yeah, Cassidy intro. So that's the one I did. But this is the nice thing with tag editor. If I wanted to change something, I could come back and change it, and go from there. So after I get that done,
One quick question before you go on.
sure.
I know you say you saved those as was it CSV files?
No, I like these are MP3s, so I'll keep them as an MP3.
Hmm.
Sometimes I will change them over to a FLAC file. Is I think a FLAC file is the quality's a little bit better.
Hmm.
Some people argue, FLAC file isn't better than MP3. I mean, they're both great. A WAV file, some people say, well, the WAV file is the best. It's just it's everybody's choice. Whatever you think is the best for you, that's what you do. But as you can see here in this promo only, let's see. Okay, no crumbs. It says explicit. No crumbs. Clean mix. Um, extended mix. Okay, now here, tell me where you go. Explicit. Tell me where you go. Extended. Explicit. Um, there's different ones. Promo only, clean edit, remix. That is cross. I don't even know how to say that. Nicky Jam is the artist. Um, they have their own way of when they do the editing. They really this one here, whistle, extended mix, extended short edit. So I mean, they have whistle, radio edit, So they really rename and they go through their files. It's not they're just throwing that on there. They took out a couple of the curse words or a couple of the innuendos. They really do go through their music. So this I'm just going to keep them as an MP3. Not worried about it. Then I'm going to take these here. Again, this is just for demonstration purposes only. We can't play this music anyhow here on our show. Here's our promo only. And now this here, it's called My List. So on My List, it says here, click here for a new list. So you click and you create a new virtual list. So I'm just going to call this Weddings 2 because I have a weddings one there, a wedding out there already. So, and it puts it in my list here. And all I got to do is just drag it out of there. And there it is. That's a virtual folder. But here is my wedding folder. And in here I have my ceremony, pre-ceremony, bridal party for the ceremony, the bride's ceremony entrance, and then the recessional song. Pre-ceremony, I'm usually playing not classical music, but jazz music, something upbeat, but not with no lyrics in it, basically. Then the bridal party ceremony, the bride's ceremony, and then the recessional song. I tell every couple, pick something upbeat. I get some couples that just pick such a downer song. It's like, oh, this is a joyous time. You're now husband and wife. You're walking, showing yourself out to the public for the first time, but that's their choice, Then this is my dinner crate, our virtual folder, and then the reception. Now inside the reception folder, let me make this bigger so everybody can see it. Inside the reception folder, my first one is intros. That there is, like for this wedding, it's one intro. It's, I think, 11 songs all total, but they're only 12 to 15 seconds of each song. Then, right after intros is the bride and groom's first dance, bride and dad, groom and mom, the cake cutting, the bouquet toss, the garter removal, the garter toss. That's if they still do that today. A lot of them don't do that anymore. Here in northeastern Pennsylvania, it's basically a Polish bridal dance, but I just call it the money dance because some couples, they call it their honeymoon dance, so they could collect money for their honeymoon. And then at the end of the night, we have our last dance. And then if there's any special request, they go right in that folder. If the bride and groom say, Mike, these are 10 songs that we definitely want to hear, so I'll put them in that special request folder, and I'll make them a different color. I'm going to show you how I actually add, again, demonstration purposes only, promo only.
So while you're doing that, I had a question because the client that I'm meeting with, that I'm doing their wedding on the 25th, they want the money dance, but it's like I forgot, when do you do the money dance?
Okay, that is usually if the wedding's over at 10 o'clock. The old way used to be around 8:45 you did it. Now what I usually do it because people are leaving weddings so early. What I usually do now is I do it around 8, 8:15. This way, you get the elderly people, and they're the ones who love that. Especially if it's the polka, the Panie Dobie song, they absolutely love it. Even if Aunt Sophie really can't get up and dance or walk that good, she will get up and dance to that song. Believe me,
Yeah, because I'm trying to look at my timeline, I'm trying to think what was our thinking.
I mean, if you do need that song, I have I think it's a 26-minute version of it. I edited it myself, and instead of relooping and relooping it, I do is hit play, and it goes for 26 minutes straight.
Okay. Because Kevin said earlier, if you want to get the money, because yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because this is how I had it set up for the timeline. After the special dances, we were going to open, kind of like transition to the open dancing by doing an
Mhm.
anniversary dance. So therefore,
Yes,
we can get everybody on the floor, and then we do the the oldest couple would give their advice to the
yes,
clients, and
yes,
then have a group picture, and then we had another song to try to get everybody to fellowship with each other.
yes.
I don't know other word to use because I'm still
Yeah,
like in church mode, but
yeah, no,
fellowship on the
yeah,
floor, and then um, we're going to open up the open dancing. So I had thought about maybe doing a group dance of some kind, and then soon after we do the group dancing, since everybody's there to do the money dance.
yeah. That would be a great idea too, because again, ever since COVID, things have changed so much for us DJs, photographers, venues, everything. It's prior to COVID, people stayed at a wedding to 10 o'clock. I mean, you might have had some people leaving earlier, especially the elderly that can't drive at night, stuff not then. But now it's even younger people. They're out. They want out. That's it. And they're programmed. It's so sad. But what I usually do, like with the money dance or the Polish bridal dance, I usually feel when that comes close to the end, like, it's the dad that dances with the bride last. Then the groom has to break into the circle, grab the bride out of there, and everybody's clapping. Yay. I throw on the chicken dance. So everybody's out there. And next thing you know, they're out there.
Mm.
Dad's coming to an end. And then I hit them with YMCA. And they're still out there. And they're all doing the YMCA. So you got the Polish bridal dance, the chicken dance, and the YMCA. And a lot of times the bride will say, "I don't want to hear the YMCA," or I'll just say the couple, not the bride. It might be both, but I'll say, "No, if I do it at this point in time, you're not even going to be in the room. You're going to be in the bathroom because you're in that circle for 15 minutes dancing, and the people close the line. So you want to go to the bathroom, wash off, and go outside and cool off for a little bit. Even though you don't like the YMCA or chicken dance, if I play it for them, they're gonna love it. And then the bride and groom, 99.9% of the time, they'll say, "Yeah, Mike, go ahead, do it." And it's a big hit, honestly, especially in this area. I know Cleveland, you probably have a lot of Polish people. I don't care if you're Polish, Italian, Irish, whatever. People love that Polish bridal dance. I don't know what it is, but it is.
So with one more question with the money dance, I can't remember. I remember doing it, but the I didn't do it. I didn't do it at a wedding that I did by myself. It was when I was shadowing my DJ friend, and I
Mhm.
remember I couldn't remember if there was separate songs for each person that paid, or if it was one of those things where we played one song or maybe two songs, and after a certain amount of time, we we said switch or they switched up. I couldn't remember
What
how we.
what we usually play here is called Panie Dobie. It's
Hmm.
a Polish song, and it's about um a woman leaving her family, becoming a wife, becoming a bride, becoming a wife, and stuff like that. And I don't know the exact words. I do have an English version of it also, but it's a significant thing, especially if you're over in Poland, Germany, Russia. They all have basically that same song, and it's just to signify that now she's a married woman, he's a married man, and it's usually that one song. Unless the bride, I had one bride, she picked out a country song, and it wasn't danceable.
Mhm.
It was horrifying because I kept on saying, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, get out, please come up and dance with Jessica. This is the song she chose to dance for everybody to come up to dance to with her. She picked the song as it has so much meaning to her. So if you could please come up and dance with our lovely bride, Jessica, she'd be honored. And nobody got up. Nobody at all. So her mom came up and said, put the Polish bridal dance on. And I said, I'm sorry, Kim. Here is, she has it in big bold letters. No Polish bridal dance. So I went up to her and I said, Jess, nobody's dancing with you. I feel so bad. You're up here 20 minutes by yourself already. So I asked her, I said, how about if we put Chicken Fried on by Zach Brown? That's country, right? And this wedding was all country from the start of the night to the end of the night. And she said, okay, yeah, that's a country song. Put that on. It is a country song, but it has a little Polish beat to it. Well, couples got up, people got up, elderly people got up to dance with her, and turned out to be a great time after that. But it was probably one of the roughest weddings I had to DJ. It was no request and just play country music from the get-go to the end of the night. It was brutal. But I'll show you what I do here. Like say this No Crumb song. This is gonna go in my reception folder, and I say special request. This is a special request from them. So I don't know, do they if there's kids still gonna be there, they may not want the explicit. So what I do is go here to tag editor and color. This I'll say that's red. And then just hit right tag. Okay, that's red. Now this is the clean remix. Tag editor. It's green. So now I know it's like a yellowish green actually. So what I do is I take that and I just dump that in my special request. Take this, dump it in the special request. Now I go here. They're both right in special request. They're there. Now, like I was telling you before, I could delete these out of here. Move from list. Move from list. But if I come back up to my promo only folder, they're still there. Let's see. That's explicit mixes.
So in virtual DJ, if there's no tracks inside of your folder, the folder will still be there.
Yes, the folder's still there because I created that folder. All these I created already, and I always keep them on. A lot of guys will get rid of them after the wedding, and I'm like, why are you doing that? You're wasting so much valuable time. You built all those crates, virtual folders. Keep them because all you gotta do is delete the songs out of there. That's it. It's just to me. Why build all this here on the side that says reception, intros, bridegroom's first dance, da da da, right down the line, and then once you're done with that, you delete it out of there? No, I delete the songs that are in. I remove them from the list. So this way my folders stay there, but those specific songs are removed from the list. So which is I still have that structure there. My skeleton is still there, and I just got to fill that skeleton back in with the songs that they want for this upcoming wedding or whatever event I'm doing. And now I was telling you about how we do the cleaning in virtual DJ. So like no crumbs. It says track cleaner here, right? I'm not going to play this, but I could extend it so it could go right across my whole monitor. If I could get this, I grab here. And then say, okay, I know this is where there's an explicit word. So I go here. Now it says censor, right? If you look at it, it says reverse. I want to mute the vocals. So I hit censor, and as you can see, it's like a different, like a maroonish color there. I could drag this out because say it's a bunch of curses there. Now that's all the vocals are out of there. And I'll show you, I'll just say here, save, and see how that came up. It says explicit, but then it says cleaned. I
Mm-hmm.
can knock out the word explicit and it'll just say clean there. And that will be in there, but it's not an MP3. It's just a file that virtual DJ recognizes.
Okay.
It'll be a vdj.edit file. So that's what virtual DJ does to clean up their songs. And you could rename it to whatever you want. You can name it DJ Mikey Mike, edit it. It's whatever you want. It comes up as cleaned, but you can rename it to whatever you want to name it as.
So, do it save it on your inside the virtual DJ folder on your desk, on your desktop, or
Wherever the file's located at. So say if you have it on an external drive, that'll save right to that external drive.
oh yeah, because that's what I was getting at. Because I was wondering if you used an external drive, and you did that on your computer, but you want to use somebody else's computer and plug it in, will it still show up with the
The
sensor added?
VPGA, yes, yes, they'll show up because that's already it's in your database. Because each on your drives, each drive, like I have 3 drives,
Hmm.
and each drive has its own database, and then there is a database on the computer also. And that the way it was before, I loved it. It was right in the documents folder. Now it's hidden. I think Serato did the same thing with theirs. I'm not sure, but I'm almost positive. Um, I'm not going to say this. Like to get to the cancel options. So now, before you used to go to documents folder, now you have to come down here to this cog wheel, and it opens up where my the database would be.
Okay.
But I don't use this one for DJing, so there's really no database on there except for what I just put in here now. So what I'm going to do is when I close this down, I'm just going to remove all the songs out of here. It's not going to delete them off my hard drive, but it's just going to remove them, and it's going to remove that database from from the virtual DJ folder here. So that's basically what I do. Also, I did omit from here, and it's my bad in the reception area. Matter of fact, I'm going to add it while we're speaking, so you could see it. No, I don't want to say that. So I'm going to go here to my list, and I'm going to do
So
a.
what happens if you have multiple weddings?
If I have multiple weddings, I say if I have a wedding Friday night, then I have one Saturday night, I will have everything created and put in a folder and keep that on my desktop for the Saturday wedding. Friday wedding will be in my folders here. And then when I come home from DJing that wedding, I empty those folders out and I load Saturday's weddings in it.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I had the one wedding. It was last year. I had a wedding. The first wedding, the gentleman's name was Gregory. Or Greg. The second wedding, the young man's name was Gregory. And you know, not thinking, because most people, I'm Michael. I like to be called Mike, Michael, Mikey, whatever you want to call me. Not thinking, and I did show the bride and groom. No, it said Gregory, or it said Greg. And even on the first one, it said Greg. That gentleman's name was Greg. His real name was Gregory, but he went by Greg. This gentleman's name was Gregory, but he went by Gregory. But I showed them, I typeset everything because my handwriting is very hard to read for me, myself, and I too. And they okayed everything. And then when I announced them at the wedding, and I said, "All right, here comes Sue and Greg," He looked at me and I'm like, oh boy, my mistake. It's Gregory. And he came up and everybody was clapping for him. And 90% of the people called him Greg. So I don't know why he wanted to go by Gregory. It's just something he wanted to do for that night. But there was no videographer there anyhow, so nothing got videotaped. But I omitted a song out of my receptions folder, and it's dance. So create that. That's gonna be my list here. And then also I'm gonna create one more folder. That's gonna be slow dance. So okay. So now I'm gonna take this and I'm just gonna close that one down a little bit. And I'm gonna take my slow dance and I'm just gonna drop it in my receptions folder. And you're gonna like this because you could actually rearrange these in here. So you want your intros up here. You want all that other stuff up there first, and then after cake cutting, this is when you're going to have your dance, and then you're going to have your slow dance, and then you could actually make a subfolder. You could just take it, and now you have it just says dance, but when you click on it, it says slow dance in it too. So you're not filling up this whole area with all these little crates in there. You could have them like reception, boom. It just folds right back up. Ceremony, it opens up to pre-ceremony, bridal party. I just put abbreviation bridal party ceremony, which that means their introductions or their walk down the aisle. The bride ceremony, that's her walk down the aisle, and then the recessional. And then dinner, I don't have nothing in that. But again, that could be filled with Michael Bublé, Harry Connick Jr., Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, number of artists, Chuck Mangione, Kenny G. I mean, everybody's taste is different. It could be the piano guys. There's a lot of great dinner music out there. And a lot of the time, 90% of the time, I want to say I will mix everything from the start of the night to the end of the night. Some gentlemen, or not gentlemen, some DJs, cocktail hour, they will just put on an auto mix or create one big MP3 for an hour and drop it in there. But you got to think, yeah, cocktail hour ain't in that. It's not really an hour. It's about 45 minutes to 50 minutes because you got to get everybody lined up. So you got to basically shut the music off for that time period. And this way it gives the people to talk a little bit more. There's no music going on at all. And you're getting the bridal party ready. You're talking to them, getting them loosened up because some people in the bridal party could still be very tense yet. And this way you get them loosened up and say, all right, no, it's gonna be nothing. You're just gonna walk in. The only thing I always ask every bridesmaid and every groomsman, please don't dance when you first come in because the photographer wants to take your picture. And so many times I have the bridesmaid lift up her arm and I'll put it in front of me and actually it won't be in front of me, but it'll be on to the side of me. And then the groomsman has a bouquet for a head. So afterwards, the photographer takes them back, takes another picture of them. To me, they're posing them then. It's not natural as they were walking into the reception hall. And again, I messed up here too with my wedding. I should have had a cocktail folder in there also. That a lot of I honestly a lot of people love yacht rock music, so I load that up with a lot of yacht rock music in there. That's a big hit, yacht rock music for cocktail hour because it's danceable, it's easy listening, and people could talk over. You don't have to worry about, hey, Dwayne, you're yelling back, hey, Mike. It's off in the background. It's nice. So, do you enjoy? Did you have any questions about what I do and how I do it?
No. I was trying to think. I was trying to think of one, but no, because it's basically the the same way that you do your crates or the sections of your weddings is similar to the atypical wedding, where you have
Yes.
like the for the reception. You have usually your cocktail hour, then the grand entrances of all of those,
Yes.
um, and then you follow. Then it's followed by the dinner, what you play at dinner, and
Yep.
then your specialty dances and your cake cutting. So for each part of the night, you have a crate for.
Yes. This way you're not second guessing. Oh, is that the bride and a bride and dad's song, or is
Hmm.
it the groom and mom song? This way they're in their own separate folder. You don't have to second guess. It's there. It's in that folder. I When I add it to that folder that night, when I shut my Mac down, the next morning I will actually start my Mac back up, have my hard drive still plugged in, make sure that song is in there. Make sure every folder is loaded to what it's supposed to be loaded. I double check everything. Actually, I should create a whip sheet, work in progress sheet, and have everything just check it off, check it off. That's done, that's done, that's done, and that's done. It To me, this is the skeleton. And then when you're adding the songs in, you're creating the body. It makes that night go so much easier for you. Um, the one difference, and I don't know if it's really a difference, but um, with virtual DJ, like promo only here, 425, 427, I say country. See how that's already analyzed? It's going through.
Hmm.
Now I could go down, say if I had a country folder down here, right? I don't have to, it's a virtual folder. I could just type in the song and boom, it's there. I don't, do you have to keep building your crates like for each event, or is it just there?
No, it's there. The thing is, you got to
Yeah.
drag it over. Because I'm thinking, what's going on with your thing? Um, when you click on just promo only, those are coming from an external drive. So
Well,
therefore,
I have it on,
or basically, it's coming from an external source outside of virtual DJ. So it's looking at
yes,
it each time you click on those folders. It's looking at it as a something brand new.
yeah,
Whereas
but
when
not,
you click on the red folders, those are the songs that's already analyzed that's inside of virtual DJ. So that's why you don't
well,
have those extra ones. So,
well, as of like right now, so
mm,
okay, I click back out of that country folder,
mm,
right? And I go back here, 427, I hit country again. They're still analyzed. You don't have to reanalyze them again. Once
okay,
you analyze them the first time, they stay there.
okay,
They're analyzed forever, unless you go back in and remove them from your virtual folder, or not remove them from your virtual folder, but take them off your database. Then you're going to have to reanalyze. But otherwise, no, they're there. They're
yeah, because in
there
Serato,
forever.
yeah, Serato DJ. Once you drag the songs into Serato DJ, then do analyze. You don't have to redo it. And what happens every time you reopen Serato, it doesn't open right away just like virtual DJ does. It'll
Yeah.
it'll look at the metadata and the tags, and they
Okay.
need to update it. It'll update it. That's the only thing Serato would do. Then once
Yeah.
it goes through all your song files that's inside the database, then everything will pop up. So yeah, you don't have to reanalyze anything, not
And
unless you delete it from the database, like I did with the one song last week. Then when you bring it back in, you have to do it.
yes.
But the thing I was going to ask, now when you
Mhm.
do your wedding crates, for each
Mhm.
one of those crates, when you program your music for the night, do you take in consideration of the songs that the client picked, or do you like when you do your open dances? Do you look at the open dance set as something different?
Well, what I do there, I ask the bride and groom to give me at least 10 to 15 songs that they want to hear played throughout the course of the evening. And what I also do for the bride and groom, our first meeting, then hopefully they book me. When they do book me, I give them my contract, I give them my wedding planner, and I also have another sheet printed out, and it has 8 little separate pieces on it they could cut out. Well, they photocopy it for as many as they need, and they can cut it out. And it's 3 songs that the guest could request, and they put it in the invitation. So if the guest is saying, yeah, they're coming to the wedding, and then when they're sending the response back, they put that 3 song request inside the invitation. So when the bride and groom get it back, they look at it, and you're gonna get the Cupid Shuffle, you're gonna get the Macarena, you're gonna get the Electric Slide, you're gonna get the YMCA, but then you might get 1 or 2 songs that you're gonna say, "Wow, that fits our wedding." Yep. All right, we'll write that down. And each guest doesn't know what they wrote down, so they hear the Cupid Shuffle. Oh my God, DJ Mikey Mike's playing the song. Or somebody requested I'll just say Amy from the Pure Prairie League. And they hear it, they're like, oh my God, he's playing our song. I try to tell the bride and groom, I tell them, you're inviting these people to your wedding. They're your guests. They're special people to you in your life. That's why you're inviting them to your wedding. So now when you're allowing them to pick songs out for your wedding, and I know there's gonna be songs that there's no way you're gonna play. They might be Metallica, might be Seven Dust, it might be something really off the wall, really bad heavy metal, thrash metal, or whatever. It might be really hardcore rap. You ain't gonna play that. But the songs that you want played there, you're gonna write them down. And this way, when they give me my wedding planner back, they have the songs written down there for me. I make sure I have them. I go to their wedding, and when the couples that wrote those songs down, they hear it, it's like, oh my God, you know, Jess and Jeff really made our night. We're so glad we came to this wedding. They made us a part of this wedding. We requested songs. They allowed us to write songs down, and they got played. It wasn't we had to go up to the DJ and ask for a song, which I do if the bride and groom allow it. I do take requests throughout the course of the evening. But if they say no request because they sent these forms out to their guest, this way, once I get that back, I make sure I have every song that they want there. Um, it's funny because sometimes the bride will give you a list of 500 songs. You tell them narrow it down, and they do narrow it down. Honestly, the course of a night of a wedding, the whole danceable part of a wedding is about an hour, 20 minutes to an hour and 40 minutes, depending if they want to play games, depending how long the Polish bridal dance is, depending if there's other specialty dances. And when you tell a bride and groom that, they say, no, our reception's 5 hours. Yes, it is, but you have cocktail hour, you got dinner hour, you got introductions, you have this dance, that dance. All that takes away from that 5 hours. And then they sit and they look at you and they're like, we never thought of it that way. We just thought we have a reception for 5 hours, and they're giving you 15 hours of dance music. And there's no way, even if you played 30 seconds of each song, there's no way you could make every song on their list for them. There's no way, no possible way. So after you
Nick
sit
and
down,
Brittany can do it.
Was that?
I said Nick and Brittany could do it.
Oh yeah, I know. I mean, I do, especially if there's songs that I know I want to get fit in before the end of the night. I will do quick mixing, but there's certain songs that you really can't quick mix, and there's certain songs that boom in and out, boom in and out, boom in and out. There are certain songs I like for the end of the night. Dirty Bit, I like to play that by the Black Eyed Peas. I had the time of my life. Pitbull, Don't Stop the Party. There's certain songs that will fit that couple, and I try to pick something out special for each couple, and I won't tell them what song I'm going to pick out for them. And when they hear it, it's like, oh my God, I call everybody that's left at the reception. Ladies and gentlemen, please circle around our bride and groom. And I won't say bride and groom there. I'll just say, I'm saying it now, but I'll say, hey, please circle around Jeff and Steve or Stephanie out there. And this is a special song I picked out for them. Let's give them a great send off tonight. Let's hear it for our bride and groom. Everybody start clapping. And I put the song on. And then, depending on the time, if it's 10 o'clock on the nose when I start playing it and the reception is supposed to be over at 10, I may let it go to 10:03 and I start turning the volume down, and I will make an announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, if you had a little too much to drink, if you don't have a designated driver, please pick up your cell phone, call an Uber, or ask somebody for a ride home from here that is a designated driver, because we don't want to see you get in an accident. And I'm sure Stephanie and Steve don't want to see you get in an accident also. So that's basically how I finish off my night.
Okay.
But again, with the file structure, those virtual folders are just the skeleton until I put the music in them. Then boom, that's the body then.
Are you finished with it? Or are you going to, so I can stop sharing? So we can make ourselves big again.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the only bad thing about an external person. Yeah, okay. Because I didn't realize that at the beginning that I could take the little square thing and put it on top of my second monitor. Therefore, when we not talking about your extra screen, they can still see us conversate.
Yeah. Yep. I'm watching my phone down here below me here on the desk.
I thought you were falling asleep for a couple of times. I thought you were falling asleep.
No, I have my phone and I put it down here and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to follow you. And I was going to bring my iPad up tonight so I could have just set it right here in front of me, and it'd be perfect. It'd be right in this. I'd be like looking here and I could still see right here in front of me.
Yep. So the basic takeaway I just wanted to, from my demonstration, is that when you create a crate, every crate should have a purpose. And it's easier if you break those crates down into the different parts of your event or the night, because it makes DJing and your focus a whole lot easier. Always anticipate vibe shifts. Crates equal fast transitions and crowd control, and adaptability over randomness is the best practice.
Yes, definitely. Practice, practice, practice. You have to.
All right, so let's.
I just want to. If once you fall one step behind, guess what? Those steps are going to keep growing and growing and growing. So try not to fall a step behind. Try to stay up on everything.
Yep. So let's go ahead and do the last segment of our show and then head on out. So the next segment of our show is Shoutouts. And this week, I'd like to send a shout out to everyone that's been following us ever since day one. Our first show was April 10th, and we got the same few diehards that always come and watch our show live. We have Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yep, Kevin was in the chat, and we had a few more people had joined us, and they didn't put anything in the chat. So, but I would like to. I don't want to mention names because I don't want to leave anybody out, but you know who you are. So those that's been watching our video, not only during our live sessions, but also those that watch us on YouTube after and giving us those views and subscribing. I would like to thank those individuals. I hope that whatever we said or have shown on our show was helpful for you all.
If they need some more information, hit us up, definitely.
Yep, speaking about...
We're here to answer the questions for you.
Yep, speaking about that, if you have any questions, make sure you join our Facebook page. Just type in Cue It Up DJ Podcast and search bar on Facebook, and you can join the public group or the private group. Also, you can join me on any of my socials at Hitman DDub, and you can join Mikey Mike on any of his socials, and he has quite a few of them.
Yeah.
You can
There's
follow.
DJ Mikey Mike 45, DJ Mikey Mike on Facebook, um, DJ Mikey Mike 45, DJ Mikey Mike, anything with DJ Mikey Mike. But just watch because there is another DJ Mikey Mike. He goes by EY, and I go by IE. That's the only difference there.
Yep. And also, we have our own little DJ network collective organization where we all are friends and fellow DJs who also have our own special shows. And before we get into those shows, let me make a small disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed during the DJ Collective Network primetime shows are those of the individual hosts and guests of that particular show. They do not necessarily reflect the views or official stance of the different shows of the DJ Collective Network as a whole, its affiliates, or production partners. So, viewers and listeners, discretion is advised. So, just because someone else has their own viewpoint does not mean that is what everyone else within our circle thinks. Everyone has their own opinion and their own views, and we should respect everybody's viewpoint.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
So with that said, again, going back to the DJ Collective Network, let me, boom. All right, welcome to our Primetime DJ lineup, a weekly schedule of live stream shows built for DJs by DJs. Whether you're just starting out or scaling your business, we got the knowledge, stories, and inspiration to help you level up. And starting off our primetime shows, we have every Monday at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. For every DJ chasing dreams, no matter the odds, it's your time to spend with DJ Cool Thing. And then on Tuesday at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch, join Buddy and his weekly guest panel of DJs for unfiltered conversations that matter. It's the DJ Roundtable with Buddy from TBM Productions. Real DJs, real stories, real lessons, and all around the table. And then on Wednesdays at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, we have the DJ Biz School with Sean, DJ Night Owl. It's not just about spinning tracks, it's about spinning success. Learn the business side of DJing. Branding, marketing, CEO, and strategy. And then on Thursdays at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, it's the cueitup DJ podcast with me, the Hitman DDub, and DJMIKIEMIKE. It's not just talk, it's real tools for real DJs of all skill levels. First takes, live challenges, pro insights, and everything in between. So, don't miss a beat. Like, subscribe, and share each episode to support the movement. It's the DJ Collective Network, where DJs grow together. Then also, I would like to say, even though he's the official, unofficial part of the DJ Collective Network, but he's always guest starring in the chat, no matter whether it's the cueitup DJ podcast on Thursdays or on Tuesday with Buddy at the DJ Roundtable. We have our own Kevin from DJK Productions, and he's actually see him on this show every Mondays at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He's live on the KJ Chill Room karaoke chat hosted by Matt and Eric. And that happens live every Monday at 7 p.m. And there you can see Kevin. He's not just a name in the chat. He's an actual person that will be on the show. So make
Eric
sure you...
Yep. Eric reminds me of, my gosh, is Tony from show that was on Homebox. He got killed off.
Okay.
he died in real life, and they played "Don't Stop Believing" at the end of their final show, and that's who Eric Newberg reminds me of. So, Eric, if you're listening to this, way to go, Tony.
All right, before we head on out, let's do our fade out message. And this week's fade out message is be strategic, stay creative, let the crate guide the night. So the better you prepare, the better your night will go. Especially if something comes up that you have to pivot on a point right there on the spot. The more you're prepared, the better you'll be able to handle those situations. So with that said, I hope everyone have a great weekend. And remember, before you start to spin, you got to first cue it up. Make sure you kill those gigs this weekend. And Kevin's still in
Yes,
in the chat. He hung up. He stayed with us. You can say he's a real trooper. He stays with us during our marathon episodes.
Yes, definitely he does.
So I hope he has a great. I know he has a big wedding that he was busy trying to prep for. So I hope that all works out well for him.
Kev, good luck, buddy. I've been going through hell. It's you only get a few brides that are like this in a lifetime, and this is probably about my third or fourth one. But I've been at this 21 years, but this week's been a nightmare.
I'm just fortunate not to run into it yet.
Oh, God bless you. I don't want to make this lager, but I had such a great streak of excellent dealings with brides, and then my one buddy goes, "Mike, I hope you never run into the bridezilla." I'm like, I didn't do it yet. I think I'll be okay. Hey, you know what? The bride was perfect. She was perfect. Every meeting, everything. The day of the wedding, she became the bridezilla. I'm like, oh my God. I can't wait to get home. I'm going to call my buddy up and I'll say, you cursed me. You cursed me, like, oh. But you just take it on the chin and take it for the team and keep going. That's all.
Yep. All right. With that said, good night and enjoy your weekend. Make sure I hit the right button. Where is it? Turn on. Here it is. All right, I got it. All right, see y'all.
I'm rise like the sun while the world still sleeps. Scouring the sights looking for new leads. Marathon gigs with no in between. Your worth is from a rear view they seen. They want to party, but I'm battling fatigue, chasing passion while my mental is still out on leave. It's an everyday hustle, so respect the DJ life. We make it look easy, but the pressure's tight. Cue up the pressure. Got a story to tell. Dreams in the booth where the DJs dwell. Clubbing is a struggle like it's all I've got. Set it up, break it down, travel to the next spot. Ambitions, the engine stay sharp like a tool. Revving through my gigs, power drinks is fuel. It's an everyday hustle, we'll respect the DJ life. We make it look easy, but the pressure's tight. Pressure. Cue up the pressure.
That's a pretty good show tonight, Dwayne.